right. Today is April 28th, 2026. It is our last Beyond the Scoreboard of the year. How do we feel about that? With Chris, I'm John. Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. By the way, hi. By the way,
how you doing?
I'm doing well. I just want to say this. By the way, we are the first show of WIUR today. And you know what? We're going to make it the best show of WIUR today because we got a lot to talk about. We got a half hour, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to discuss what we discussed last week on Thursday, how the Mets came back from their 11-game losing streak. Woo-hoo! Let us discuss that. We're going to discuss, we don't have 3 months, so we're going to discuss how baseball is going to continue within the next 3 months. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to see, we're going to take a look at the draft from on Thursday and see what surprised us and what didn't surprise us.
Yeah.
So let's start with the Mets. So, Chris, let's start with that real quick. So how has that been for you as a Mets fan?
Listen, they snapped the losing streak, so good for them. But still, it's been inconsistent play. And right now, everybody wants Mendoza gone. It's Mendoza this, Mendoza that. Fire him, fire him, fire him. Actually, about 20 minutes ago, the Phillies fired their manager in Rob Thompson.
Yes, we saw, and Don Mattingly's filling in now for them. We just saw that.
So, listen, if the Phillies can fire their manager after them not performing, I think, the Mets should fire Mendoza. Now, listen, you fire Mendoza, okay? That's the hot topic right now. You fire him, congratulations. You have Kai Correa, the bench coach, as your intern manager for the next few months. What's it going to really change with this team? Because you get rid of the manager, but it's the players at the end of the day that are on the field every single day that is producing for this team. It's not the manager's fault. Bo Bichette hasn't been hitting. Luis Robert Jr., he had signs at the beginning of the year, has not hit. Juan Soto just came back, so understandable there. This lineup just cannot hit, and they got swept by the Colorado Rockies. That's at home. That is pretty sad when you think of it. And us delusional Mets fans were like, oh my God, they snapped this 12-game losing streak. Nope. They win the first 2 games. Oh my God, they're going to, go on a little run here. Where did that go? We got swept by the Rockies, the worst team probably in Major League Baseball.
Good job.
Thank you.
That's like top 10 worst things the Mets can do. They've done a lot of bad things, but that's like up there.
And our president, Robbie Basil, just said, I actually did lose to fantasy him this week. So
wait, hold on. Can we just play this 1 second, please?
Hold on. It was
hold on 1 second. We're just gonna play fun. this ad real quick.
Live from the Murphy Center in New Rochelle, this is Radiothon on WIUR Radio.
There you go.
Thank you, Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie. But I did lose to him in fantasy this week. It was not fun at all because I was winning at one point, Robbie, and then things didn't go my way as per usual. So I'm 0-3 now in the fantasy league. 0-4, my fault. 0-4, and I face Landon Popovic this week. So we're gonna make it 0-5 this week. So this is gonna be play the sad trombones because that's very sad. And the crickets too. It was not fun in fantasy baseball this week. Now, but get back to the Mets for a second. I think, we saw the Phillies fire their manager today. I think the Mets, they have the home series coming up now, 3-game set with the Washington Nationals. They have to win this series because if they get swept by the Washington Nationals and
that's a joke too.
That would be a joke.
If you get swept by the Nationals, that's a joke.
That would be an absolute clown show. And I think Mendoza, before they hit the road against the Los Angeles Angels, should be fired. And listen, can't blame it all on the manager. Like I said, it's all on the players at the end of the day. The players got to take accountability and responsibility that they're just not performing the way they are. I mean, you look at the offensive numbers at StatCast, and every single number, they're in the top, bottom of the league numbers in OPS and strikeouts. And, actually, they're high in strikeouts, excuse me. And home runs are low. Every single batting category you can think of, they are just rock bottom right now. And I think if the Mets do want to try to win, I mean, it's only April, but I keep saying this every single time, guys. It's April. It's early, this and that. At some point, we have to say, okay, this team is just bad. We have to accept it, and we have to move on to next year. Now, we don't know what next year is going to look like with the CBA and the contract negotiations and everything that's going to come with it. But the business stands here. They need to take care of business against the Nationals. They can't lose a series, and they cannot get swept. They need to take 2 out of 3.
Oh, but they will.
But they'll find a way.
They'll find some way to lose.
They'll find some way to lose.
They will find a way to lose.
Also with first base as well. We signed Jorge Polanco. He gets injured. It's like every single day, it's like tryouts for the New York Mets for first base. You have Mark Vientos. You have MJ Melendez. You have Brett Beatty. You have Brett Beatty playing right field, for goodness sake. This whole team is just plug and play. Who can play what position? There's no inconsistent, when at the beginning of the offseason, you signed Bo Bichette, who didn't know how to play third base. You signed Jorge Polanco, who didn't know how to play first base. Well, the first baseman, Jorge Polanco, that you signed for 2 years, $40 million, is now gone and should have been on the injury list before when he had this Achilles thing. Who knows when he's going to come back? Francisco Lindor is out for a foreseeable future of time with a very bad leg injury. So who knows when he's coming back? Probably All-Star break, I would assume that's when he will come back. And you have now Ronnie Mauricio playing everyday reps at shortstop. This team is just very inconsistent. There are tryout camps at first base. People trying to figure out what position they can play. The pitching, Kodai Senga needs to go. I think he's done. There's no reason for him to be on this roster anymore. And I think if the Mets continue to do this, Mendoza will be gone. Mets fans should be happy. We'll play a little round of applause. Kai Correa will be your interim manager, probably in a few days from now, as we saw this morning with Rob Thompson getting fired by the Phillies, which the Mets should do, but they're probably going to wait until they are no longer able to try to ride the ship and ride the season on a high note and try to get back to a postseason spot. But if they take care of business against the Nationals, I think they need to look themselves in the mirror and say, listen, we had a terrible first month of the season. What can we do as players? What can we do as coaches to get better? Because it seems like every single game, they're running with the same formula.
They can strip the team.
That's exactly. And then also another thing is a GM. The GM and David Stearns, he built this team. He got rid of the entire core. He blew the entire core up. He got rid of Alonso. He got rid of McNeil. He got rid of Nimmo. And he got rid of Diaz. Now, obviously, Diaz is on the injury list. We wish him well. But, out of all the single Mets that have departed, Brandon Nimmo in Texas has been doing the best out of all of them. He's been hitting for a high average, getting on base. Alonso still trying to, feel his way in Baltimore. Really is striking out a lot. Has only like 3 home runs or so. So only batting 200. So he's slowly, trying to figure out, it's a new home, new contract for him. I mean, get rid of all those home ground town people, and you bring in all these players in Bichette, in Simeon, in Polanco. And now look, here we are. We're almost in the beginning of May. As of Friday, it will be May 1st. And this team is, I believe, 10 games or 11 games below 500. They can't hit. It's a mess right now in Queens. And just be prepared, Mets fans, that probably this season, it's not going to go the way we have hoped. But
10.5 games behind 500.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's, yeah. The last time we saw 500, ladies and gentlemen, was the second game of the season, which was all the way back in March 28th.
You are 9-19.
Yeah. So we are not. So we could potentially be 9-20. So by tonight. I don't even know who's on the mound for us tonight, because it seems like the only pitcher that
Holmes.
Clay
Holmes.
Wow, our good old buddy Clay Holmes. Look at that.
I mean, you're going against Little, who literally has a 8 ERA.
Yeah, but
so if you can't win this game, you're screwed. If you guys can't win this game,
look at Mike DeVergis.
Whoa!
Good old Mike DeVergis, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on, wait. I think we're going to get a special appearance.
Mike DeVergis is coming in.
This is why we're having the best show of the season.
Yes.
Because we're going to get a special appearance. But if they can't win this game, the Mets are brutal.
Yes, they are.
And yeah, hold on. We're getting a special guest host today.
Yes, we are. Yeah, it's Mike DeMurgis, ladies and gentlemen.
Professor Michael DeMurgis is joining us.
Yeah.
up?
What's going
What's
on?
up?
Singuina.
Whoa.
Singuina. Go. Oh my God, what's with the chair? I feel like I'm in kindergarten. Hello, teacher. I have a question. Oh my God. Where's the hooky thing?
It's on the other side.
On the other side. There you go. There you go.
There we
That's
go.
I'm already short and vertically challenged. What's going on, guys?
Let's
We're
go.
wrapping up the semester here.
Yeah.
The Mets are doing well. They're wrapping up the season in April.
That's what we were just talking about, how they're like,
Pathetic.
they're pathetic. Yes.
Yeah,
They're 9-19. They're 10.5 games out.
Yeah, it works all perfectly. Let Alex Cora be the manager.
Hmm.
Timing was perfect.
Yeah.
That's their only hope. I mean, did anybody really buy into this, that this team was going to be good?
No.
I mean, you like to think the baseball people know what they're doing. They really don't.
Mhm.
I mean, I could look on paper and could see this team stinks. Like, you get my baseball cards together, look at the back and say, no, stinks, stinks, stinks.
Well, they don't. I think they overhype what the team is actually, because they want the
You know what?
viewership.
Take this analytics and flush it down the toilet.
Mhm.
It doesn't work. And don't tell me the Dodgers do it, because the Dodgers spend $70 million a year. I mean, $700 million a year. All right. In salary and in fees and everything. It's not analytics. It's paying the best players. And that's what it is.
Mhm.
And the Mets don't do that. They don't develop a farm system. They bring up these players that are kind of like hybrid. They can play left field. They can play shortstop. They can play third base. And they're not good at anything. And what are they doing to catcher? What's Francisco going to do? Huh? I mean, how many years going to wait on him?
It's not looking good in Queens right now.
No,
But-
it stinks. It stinks to high hell.
Yeah. I want to ask you this, Professor. A lot of Met fans are calling for Mendoza. You know, we saw this morning, Rob Thompson is out. When do you think the Mets are going to pull the plug on Mendoza?
I think someone's got to go soon. I think it should be the GM and the manager at one time. And this way you have to, you get somebody in there as a replacement temporary. You use the summer to kind of find a GM, and I would hire Cora absolutely right away.
Mm.
Absolutely hire Cora right away. That's a no-brainer right there. And they're talking about Beltran all this time.
Mhm.
Well, if Beltran's the guy, put Beltran in there then.
Yeah.
You know, I think he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
I think what Beltran did is just as bad as anything that's been done in baseball, cheating and it affected a World Series, it affected playoff games. I think he did was horrible. But if people are okay with him being manager, bring him in there. That's why he brought him in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they got to do something. I mean, they had
Yeah.
nobody at the game Sunday.
No.
Nobody. It's like a minor league game. It's a minor league team. Why not be a minor league game?
Nah, they're not a minor league
I mean,
team.
the Savannah Bananas would sell more tickets than the New York Mets. How's that?
They sold out Yankee Stadium twice.
How about that?
I don't.
It's
the
like
Mets
it's like the village people playing
Mets-
baseball.
aren't even a minor league team. They're a little league team.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the Bad News Bears, the Bad News Mets, man. Let's get the music going. Dun, 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 dun. It's a joke. It's an
yeah.
absolute joke. It's great fodder. You
Mhm.
know, they become the New York Jets. I mean, the Jets season's over at the end of September. I mean, it's not the end of April, and they're already throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
Already throwing the towel. So,
Mhm.
a couple of moves they can make. Bring in Beltran if you think he's a guy. Let him work out the season. Let him get his kinks out as manager and everything. Let him make his mistakes now. Or if you think this season can be salvaged, bring in Cora.
Mm.
And then eventually look for a replacement for Stearns, because you don't know what he's doing.
No.
Yeah.
It is. There's no plan. And the Mets are going to choke on that salary with Soto. Soto.
Mhm.
They're going to choke on that money.
Yeah.
Big time. So you guys are so excited about the end of the semester?
Yeah.
we're
Wrap
ready.
it up.
Went by
This
fast.
is- yeah, we're ready for finish our show today. We're the first show of the day, so we got to start strong, you know?
Yeah. Got to start strong. Nice
Mhm.
leadoff spot.
Mhm.
Okay. And how was the semester? Good? I mean, the radio class is probably your best class, right?
It
I
was,
mean, your
definitely,
professor
by
is
far,
dynamite.
yeah.
I mean, he's got to be great.
Yeah.
What happened there? What did I miss?
You missed the applause.
Oh, that's the applause? Okay. I'm just trying to have my headset on. Rule number 1, put your headset on.
Robbie's got no headsets for us today.
Robbie, what's a budget? Do we have no budget? What are we, the Tampa Bay Rays? We have no budget. What are we, the Tampa Bay Rays? I mean, come on. The Nationals. Oh my God. At least they won a World Series within the last decade. Mets haven't won a World Series in 4 decades,
Yeah.
despite having the highest payroll. This is this team might eclipse the early 90s team of the worst team money could buy. And
Definitely
horrible.
could.
So anyway, have a good day, gentlemen.
Thank
It's been a
you.
pleasure all semester.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
It's been a pleasure. So great job by Robbie here all year.
Yes,
He's
Robbie.
stepping up to be graduate program next year.
Yeah.
Are you going to apply to the graduate program?
Definitely.
Apply? You can
Yep.
apply?
Yep.
Nice. All right, we'll talk about that.
Mhm.
Thank you, guys. It's been great.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Professor.
Professor Mike Demergis of the media department.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, Professor was right. It's the bad news bears of the New York Mets. It's not looking good. And he brought up a very good point. You know, Alex Cora. I even forgot to mention about Alex Cora. He got fired over the weekend by Boston, and they did a whole clean house, fired all their coaches, everybody, and a lot of Boston players are upset that Cora was fired. A lot of players are advocating for, you know, why'd you fire Cora? I mean, the season is only just begun, and you already fired all your coaching staff.
Because he's got to go.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. You know, he brought an interesting point. You know, you either take the route of Carlos Beltran, figure out his kinks, or if you really want to save the season, get Alex Cora. He's sitting there waiting for a job. I think a lot of players. Here's the thing with Mendoza. I don't think Mendoza can take accountability. I don't feel like he's a leader in that room. When you look at the 3 years that he's had as manager, in 2024, he got off to that 0-5 start. And now, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I know that 2024 season was magical. Oh my God, they became the best record in baseball and the best team in baseball after May. I just think he got lucky. I really think he got lucky. I just think that, you know, the players gelled really well, and forget about what happened that first half of the season. He really saved his coaching job in that latter half, second part of the year in 2024, and he just got lucky. They played well. They got to the CS, lost to the Dodgers, unfortunately. You look at 2025, they had the best record in baseball yet again the first 2 months, and then kind of fell apart in the last 3 months. And now here we are in 2026, and you look at the record, 9-19, not great. Already had a 12-game losing streak already in the beginning of the season in April. It's not looking good. If Mendoza did not have the season he had in 2024, I think Mendoza would have been gone by now. But he caught lightning in the bottle. He got lucky with that 24 team, and that really just kind of saved his whole coaching job as a general. And now here we are in 2026, and his job is pretty much on the line. And it's any single day now where you don't know. You're going to get that notification on your phone, say breaking news. Mets manager Carlos Mendoza has been released from his job. And listen, not good, not great, but there is time. They're not making the playoffs. I know.
No, they're not making the playoffs.
I just want to be
No,
clear.
that's not happening.
I just want to be clear.
Let's just be clear. That's not happening. That's not happening.
No.
You know what's going to happen? They'll make the wild card maybe a day before, and then they won't make the wild card. That's exactly what's going to happen.
It's going to be like one of the scenarios from last year in 2025.
No, we already had a special guest. No Nick G. Sorry. We already had a special guest. We had Mike Demergis.
Sorry, Nick. Yeah, back to what I was saying. What were you saying? The playoffs. I think it's going to be a scenario where, like you said, it's going to happen like last year where they're in the hunt, and they just miss by that one game. By that one game, they probably lose. That other team wins. It's going to be like a scenario like last year, and then they blow it.
All right, we have 5 minutes left.
We do.
So now let's talk about the draft last week real quick.
Do you want to talk about your Yankees real quick? Or is that really nothing?
There's nothing to talk about.
I mean,
right now, they're
just
okay.
good.
They're a game and a half above 500. They're doing well. Nick G, how are you? Good to see you. But I think we're going to do well. We're 19-10 right now. We're having a good season. We're playing the Rangers tonight. We won last night against the Rangers 4-2. I was not happy that they won 4-2. I was hoping they were going to win 4-1, but of course they gave them a run at the last inning. So that's typical Yankee fashion.
Yep.
You always have your heart in your mouth because bottom of the ninth, you always think they're gonna friggin' blow the game, and then they somehow pull it. I don't know. But let's talk the rest of it.
Yeah.
Let's talk NFL.
Let's talk about NFL. I guess let's start with since we're talking about bad teams, let's talk about
the Jets.
Yeah, I mean, our president Robbie Basil behind the glass is a Jets fan. Robbie, thoughts on your Jets in the draft? Good.
Live from
bad,
the Murphy
medium?
Center in New
Good. He said
Rochelle.
good.
This is
Um,
Radiothon on
yeah, the
WIUR
Jets
Radio.
did really good. Thank you, Robbie. Yeah, the Jets did really good in their draft. Omar Cooper Jr., David Bailey, Sadiq. I think, listen, the Jets have a great future ahead of them. They have Geno Smith as quarterback. I think, as well as next year, they got first-round picks in next year's draft, too.
Oh, they have first-round picks for the next 10 years because they're not going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon. They're not going to even win the division anytime soon. They're the worst team in the National Football League. They are what we call the Mets a little league team. They are a Blue Devils team.
Yeah, they are. And I think, with all those picks, I think they have a really good future ahead of them. I don't know what the next draft class is going to be, but
you think they have a good future.
You think.
And then, eventually you get to the next point and, it's September and we're 5-4 already. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I think, listen.
Sorry. It's not 5-4. We're 2-4.
2-4.
2-4.
But I think, listen, it's funny because Jets fans get all excited about the draft. They're going to be good this year, and then their season pans out the way it did. I'm curious to see under year 2 of Aaron Glenn what they end up doing with Geno Smith, with Sadiq, with Omar Cooper Jr. I think, trading up in the draft and getting a guy like him, pairing him with Garrett Wilson. I think those two are going to be a really dominant duo. And we'll see if the Jets can maybe break that losing curse of making it to the playoffs in 2026. Stand by.
Now let's talk about the Giants.
Yes. Giants draft was solid, drafting 2 defensive players.
I think that Dart's going to have a good season this year.
I think so too.
I think that I see the Giants being an AFC contender, to be honest.
I do too. I think, with Harbaugh coming in, their new coach, I think he's going to set a high standard. And the reason why the Giants did bring him in was to try to bring that Giants football relevancy back, put them back on the map, bring them back into the postseason. I think he's got a high standard, and a lot of people calling Dart similar to Lamar Jackson that Harbaugh did have in Baltimore. So I think he's going to have a good season. Cam Scatterboo's coming back this year as well. Malik Neighbors is coming back as well. So they're going to have a very, very healthy squad. I'm excited to see what a John Harbaugh team in New York does look like. They brought him in to bring the Giants back to the postseason. I think they can do it. And we'll see. We'll see if it pans out for them in year 1. He's got 5-year contract, a lot of money thrown at him, a little bit of pressure, but I think he will. I think he will succeed. And
I think if it's not the Giants, I think this is the year for Buffalo. It's either one of those two.
Buffalo's got a new stadium as well, so that's something to look forward to for this season.
I personally think I think it's going to be a New York team this year. I really think a New York team is going to make not the World Series, the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see Buffalo. I like Buffalo. I like Josh Allen. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like the defense of Buffalo. I think they know what they're doing, and they've gotten screwed the past couple years because honestly, the reason they won the loss this year was because of the refs. They didn't actually lose the game. No. It was because he made a stupid call on 3rd down when it was supposed to be a 5-yard penalty, and he didn't move forward. But
listen, I think for all the New York teams, we'll start with Giants. High expectation. Let's see what they can do with Harbaugh. Jets, see if they can finally maybe get a playoff game year 2 under Aaron Glenn. Buffalo, we know what happened last season. They fired their head coach, Joe Brady, offensive coach, is coming in.
I'm interested to see how their head coach is going to be this year.
A lot of new stadium. Josh Allen's going to be back again, trying to bring the squad back to a Super Bowl. And maybe a new stadium will work in their favor.
And we can pray that Kansas City doesn't make anything.
I don't think they go. I think their time. I think their time is done. I think the hype over dynasties and all this other stuff. I think. Listen, Kelsey's back. Whoop de freaking do. I mean, this guy's gonna retire soon.
He's gotta go.
I think his relevancy is I think the Chiefs as a whole, their team. I think the dynasty's done. You won the Super Bowls. I think it's time for them to take a back seat. They did it a little bit last year. And yeah, man, we'll see what they do here in 2026. But I think their time is pretty much over.
Well, that's all we have for this year.
This is it, man.
This is it.
Year one of Beyond the Scoreboard finished. We appreciate you guys watching each time,
weekend and every week.
Yeah.
We will be back in September.
We will be
for season 3,
Season 3,
episode 1, where we will discuss the postseason predictions.
And the Mets will not
Because-
be in the playoffs, ladies and
because
gentlemen.
it will be postseason baseball time.
Yeah.
And we will say it here first. The Mets will not be in the postseason.
No, you can watch back 3 months from now when we come back on the air in September, and you could agree with both of us that, yeah, today is
April 28th.
April 28th.
The Mets will not be there.
When we come back in August, what, 25th or something like that?
We won't be back till like mid-September.
Mid-September. The Mets will probably, hope to God, fired Mendoza. Who knows who's going to be the manager then? And be probably, 18 games under 500, just trying to end the season and get ready for a unknown 2027 season. But yeah, we're going to end it here. Johnny,
But-
pleasure doing this with you.
Same here.
Fall semester and spring semester.
Until the fall, I'm John,
I'm Chris.
and we'll see you in September. Take care.